Hey, Cub fans! Thanks for joining us here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs with delight and unwavering optimism. Jose Cuas, very interesting pitcher for the Cubs. We're going to talk about him today. I like his upside. Very little risk, potentially a lot of reward with Jose Cuas. Interesting story, interesting background, interesting delivery, interesting abilities. And we haven't had him long, and probably a lot of us aren't really familiar with him. So I decided we'll walk through Jose Cuas today. Let's get to know who he is, because I'm hoping to see a lot of him. Jose Cuas, 29 years old, attended Grand Street Campus High School in Brooklyn, and drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 40th round of the 2012 draft. He declined. Instead went to Maryland, where he played and started 3 years for Maryland as an infielder. He had a really good junior year. He hit .242, .329 on base, had 11 home runs and 53 RBIs with a .771 OPS. So Jose Cuas is a baseball player. He's an infielder and a hitter in college. Got drafted by the Brewers in 2015 in the 11th round. So very athletic. After he got drafted by the Crew in 15, he was assigned to rookie ball with the Helena Brewers. And he had a pretty good year. Hit .260. .319 on base, .430 slug, had 7 home runs and 40 RBIs in rookie ball. The following year, in 2016, he was signed to High A Brevard County Manatees. He had 120 games for the Manatees, but it didn't really go well. He only hit a .170 with a .263 on base and a .240 slug. So, not real good. Probably the first sign that it might not be the path. In 2017, he split time between Wisconsin Timber Rattlers and the High A Carolina Mudcats. It didn't go well again. Hit .187 with .277 on base and a .321 slug. Only had 5 homers and only had 28 RBIs. So there's 2 seasons back to back where this wasn't quite happening for Jose Cuas, the hitter and infielder. So in 2018, that's when he decided to convert to pitching. Had 2 years of hitting sub 200, low slug, and decided to make a change. So the beginning of 2018 is when he decided to become a pitcher. He opened with Wisconsin, and he went 2-0, but his ERA ballooned to 8.38 over 19 and a third innings. That didn't go well. He was released on July 10th. So in 2018, he'd given up on a potential career as a hitter and an infielder, converted to pitching, and then that didn't go well, and he got released on July 10th. So he signed with the Long Island Ducks team of the Atlantic League. He finished out 2018 pitching. He went 2-1, but did better. Had a 2.38 ERA, had 17 Ks over just 22 2/3 innings. But that was his first feel of success, or first taste of success on the mound. In 2019, he again signed with the Long Island team, and this is when he decided he was going to go sidearm full-time. And what's interesting is pitcher Francisco Rodriguez, better known as K-Rod, had advised him to do that. He advised him and coached him. So he had seen him, knew his history. He was pitching, but he just thought there was more in there. And Cuas would warm up, and he'd throw sidearm during warm-ups just as a getting loose routine. And K-Rod saw it and said, I think that's where you need to go. So that's how it started. He began throwing sidearm full-time under the direction of Francisco Rodriguez. Same year, 2019, May 25th, he signed a minor league contract with the Diamondbacks. He started over. So signed with the Diamondbacks, goes right to low A. During the 2019 season, he went through low A to single A and then to high A. Combined with those three leagues in 2019, he went 6-3 with a 1.6 ERA, 25 Ks over 45 innings. So that's pretty good. Then came the COVID year, 2020. Jose Cuas can't catch a break. So 2020, he didn't play at all. Minor leagues didn't play in 2020. So he got released by Arizona on May 22nd. So he's out of baseball. That's when the story of him driving the FedEx truck. Yeah, that's what he did. So he was released. There was no baseball going on, so he took a job driving a FedEx truck. He drove the truck during the day, but he continued training at night. And his younger brother was really instrumental in keeping him positive, keeping him on it. At the time, Jose's 26 years old and already been through a lot, and just got released and had this job that he was given some consideration to staying. But it was his brother who kept him on track, kept him positive, kept him working. Then in 2021, on April 16th, he signed again with those Long Island Ducks. He pitched in 5 games for them, but in the 5 games, he went 11 scoreless innings and he struck out 13. June 17th of 2021, he signed a minor league contract with Kansas City. Kansas City sent him to rookie ball, where he split the 2021 season, rookie level Arizona Complex League Royals, and the 2A Northwest Arkansas Naturals. And he made his way to 3A with the Omaha Storm Chasers. Jose, he's fighting it. Combined in 2021 with those 3-4 leagues, he went 5-1 with a sparkling 151 ERA, had 44 strikeouts in 41 2/3 innings. Very impressive. So in 2022, he received a non-roster invite to the Royal Spring Training. On May 30th of 2022, Kansas City called him up, and he made his first appearance in the show. He debuted the following day against Cleveland in 2022, early season May. He made it after quite an interesting trip. The opening day of 2023, he was on Kansas City's opening day roster in a bullpen position. July 31st of 2023 is when the Cubs traded for him for Nelson Velasquez. Remember, Nelson had come up and sort of had a chance. He was thought of very highly in the Cubs organization as a prospect, and so we were a little bit log-jammed with Nelson, so the Cubs traded him for Cuas. Now, with Cuas, we've got an unknown entity, right? First of all, he's only been pitching since 2018. Then he made the transition to throwing sidearm. Then he lost a year and came back. So he's got a very small sample size with the pitcher he is today, which is that sidearm pitcher. Which, while we're talking about it, these sidearm guys they're trouble. I don't think anybody enjoys facing a guy that throws the ball like that. It's just it's too unusual. You just don't see it a lot. The ball moves differently. It's a different angle. It's not comfortable. And if a pitcher can do that and command it, I think just the nature of it is he's pretty hard to hit. And Jose Cuas' numbers sort of indicate that he's pretty hard to hit. Problem is, we got to be able to command it. So let's walk through Jose Cuas' numbers in 2023 to see what he did. He went with the Cubs, just with the Cubs in 2023. He went 0-2, but his ERA was only 3.04. He pitched 23 2/3 inning, and he had a 1.31 whip. Had a save. He had a positive WAR of 0.9. So that's all pretty good. As testament to being a pitcher like that he's hard to hit, here's some numbers I think are kind of interesting. His batting against numbers are the league hit 205 against him. But the on-base percentage is high at 369, right? So he's hard to hit, but he loses command, and he gives up bases on balls. He's also hard to hit hard. His batting against numbers for slug is 313. His OPS is 653. So Jose Cuas is hard to hit, but he walks people, and then we get in trouble. So I took that and I went, well, let's go a little further. His strikeout percentage, probably lower than it will be at 19%. His base on balls percent at 14% is higher than it needs to be. If we can up that strikeout percent to 25%, drop that base on balls down under 10, I think we got something. To me, that's the move for 2024 in Jose Cuas. And I believe it can happen just because he hasn't been pitching that long. He hasn't had a chance to do it. And I think given time, I think those improvements are there. He's 29 years old. A lot of the numbers that I look at for pitchers to find out how are they hard to hit, and some of the advanced numbers would indicate that. I compared Jose Cuas' advanced pitching numbers with league average, and here's what I found. He is above the league average already in his home run percentage, home runs allowed. The league average pitcher gives up more home runs than Jose Cuas does percentage-wise. He is higher than league average in his strikeout percentage. So he gives up fewer home runs than league average. He gets more strikeouts than league average. On balls put in play, the exit velocity of those balls are lower exit velocity than the league average. So when they put it in play, they don't hit it hard. It's hard to barrel him up. His hard hit rate, the opposite is true too. His hard hit rate, which by definition a ball with an exit velocity of 95 miles per hour or over is a hard hit ball. His hard hit rate is lower than league average. His line drive rate is lower than league average. His ground ball rate is higher than league average. So on balls hit in play, he's above league average, and he doesn't give up home runs. He doesn't give hard hit balls. He gets more ground balls. He gets less line drives. So all of that sort of bodes well for a Jose Cuas. Question is, can he command? Can he lower that base on balls? Can he? Because that's how he got in trouble with Cubs last year. Lost, and he lost it pretty significantly a time or two. But I think he's close. I think if he had been doing this and pitching like this since he was 19, maybe not. Maybe we got what we got. But because of how late he started, how little time he's been doing, I think he's at the beginning of his growth curve on this. I'm high on Jose Cuas. His numbers are really good, and boy, it'd be nice to have somebody coming out of the pen that just got that nasty release, and I think Jose Cuas might provide that. Jose Cuas, pitcher to watch for 2024. Obviously a bullpen guy. If he commands it, he could be a leverage guy. We've got a potential there, and we don't have anything to lose with Jose Cuas. I think he's only got a year and a half of service, so he's under club control for the most part. And if he does it, he does it. If not, well, we're not going to lose anything. But I'm going to pay attention to Jose Cuas this spring. He's one of the guys that I really want to watch and see and look for command. If Jose Cuas can command the strike zone, he's going to be trouble. So that's where we are. So we'll look forward to seeing him come spring training here to just a short few weeks. That's all I have for you today. Jose Cuas 2024, and go Cubs go.